Big thanks to those of you who expressed happiness upon seeing that in yesterday's video I had not succumbed to the apocalypse. Compliments like, "I'm happy you're not dead," always hit the spot. If you think about it, the only way a compliment like that could be considered off-color is if you say it to a dead person. And even then, it's not like they can hear you say it. I too, butt-kickers, am glad I'm not dead. Some of you had some interesting theories, like how maybe the rapture did in fact occur, but everyone on planet Earth is still here and is thereby going to hell. It's an interesting theory, one that I'm not sure I could disprove outside of the fact that Harold Camping hasn't said anything yet, and he'd certainly know, considering he's like God's postal service or something. Some of you hypothesized that we all died and that the afterlife is simply exactly the same as our prior lives were. One way to test this theory: try and kill yourself. If you find yourself mysteriously incapable of dying, then your theory might be right on the basis that I highly doubt there's an afterlife. Either that or you have superpowers. To test if you have superpowers, try and melt something with your gaze. Well, then that either means that you do have superpowers or that it is the afterlife and that it is exactly like our prior lives, but there is one glaring difference, and that's that you have superpowers. Logical loop! Brain on fire! If, however, you do succeed in killing yourself, then I'm sorry. Your theory was false. However, every cloud has a silver lining. You'll be dead, and thereby oblivious to the fact that your theory was false. Good afternoon, butt-kickers. It's May 23, the 143rd day of 2011, which means that 77 years ago today, the infamous outlaws Bonnie and Clyde were ambushed and significantly aerated with bullets. Man, you should see the number the posse did on Bonnie and Clyde's car. I'm getting some Sonny at the toll booth Godfather flashbacks here. For those of you not up to snuff on your early 20th century outlaws, Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow were the figureheads and gang leaders of a notorious group of scurvy robbers who murdered, pilfered, and pillaged their way across the United States during the Great Depression. He was less of a draw for the media, but she, especially due to a picture that was found of her with a stogie in her mouth and a gun in her hand, she was a completely different media story. It was the whole lovers together as outlaws thing that drew so much attention, and their story has been retold many, many times. Eventually, it was even adapted into a movie about two homosexual outlaws, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They were just friends. Yeah, right, and Holmes and Watson were just colleagues. Oddly enough, the Bonnie and Clyde story has a sliver of parallel relevance to recent news. One of Bonnie and Clyde's most lived-in hideouts was in Joplin, Missouri, which was recently hit by a pretty nasty tornado. My sympathies go out to those affected by it. However, in completely unrelated news, it's World Turtle Day. The turtle may be the world's most economic creature. For the low, low price of being slow and ugly, he carries his entire house on his back. Everything he owns is in there. His computer, that divan he spent a good bit of money on, that secret stash of money he keeps at the bottom of his sock drawer, it's all right there in his back. Did I mention I didn't do too great in high school biology? Sorry, Mr. Lin, but I'm not going to let you destroy my illusions about nature. And for the reference, yes, I do think bunnies are made out of concentrated sunshine. Thanks for asking. Maybe the people in Joplin would have lost less if they kept their entire houses on their backs. And I said this news story was unrelated. 2011 with Griff, loosely tying together largely tangential news stories since January 1, 2011. Until tomorrow, I'm Griff, and I'm still talking. I like turtles. The turd may be the... the turd.